Power Hour with John Lee.
Jean-Michel Basquiat. Now, I must admit to having a Jean-Michel Basquiat in my office. Now, he was a great painter from New York. He was just, he had mixed race parents. His dad was from Haiti and his mother, I think, she was Dominican. And he had this strange style of graffiti. He used to write almost like haiku poems. He used to write maybe a lyric, you could describe it as. And he started getting a lot of attention, almost in a Banksy kind of way, but certainly street art taken in a new direction. And he was so good that a movie was made about him. He was supposed to be an actor in a film about someone else, but it was about him. And he made the movie when he was 19. It wasn't released for a couple of decades, and he was homeless when he made it, because he was a homeless street artist. He was just very, very talented. And after that, he became famous, but not because of the film. People start paying attention to his work, and there's a place called the Mud Club in New York, which is super trendy and hard to get into. And he had an exhibition there, and he sold out. I mean, he made hundreds of thousands on his first night, and there was an explosion, and he was kind of massively celebrated, but he was also massively resisted. People basically came out in New York Times, I think it was, but in major publications anyway, saying he was shit and he had no talent. But he had enough people behind him to give him a platform, and he started to speak out about racism, as you would if you were a black man or woman in America, particularly in New York, and you got a platform and you've been suffering racism all your life and you got something to express. Well, that's going to be relevant. So he started to say, well, look, fucking hell, can we do something about this racism or what? Or we're going to have another 10 generations. Well, I'm sorry, mate, but we're in 2021 and, I'm not seeing much improvement in that way. Recent events have shown us that. So he befriends Andy Warhol. He sees him in a bar, actually, goes up to him, starts talking to him. Maybe artists have a way of talking to each other whereby they recognise each other immediately. Because I think if I went up to Andy Warhol, went, right, Andy, you painting or what? I don't think he'd have a conversation with me. I think one of his bouncers would try his luck, but I don't see us hitting it off. These guys did, and in fact they collaborated. You don't just generally collaborate with Andy Warhol. People say, well, Andy Warhol was on the decline, and Jean-Michel was on the way up, and they're kind of using each other. But it certainly appears that they were close, and they did a massive collaboration together, which was panned by the critics. The critics said it was shit, but it wasn't. It wasn't. They were just attacking this kid because they were pissed off they didn't discover him, maybe. Someone else in a different magazine is credited with discovering him, so they want to piss on it. I don't know. But they were cruel to this young guy who was totally self-made. And he spiralled into drug addiction. All right, okay. Happens to people, to great people as well. And he died of a heroin overdose. Tragic, I haven't really got much information on the circumstances of his death. There's not a lot of kind of controversy around it. A lot of people think that he was killed for the same reasons. He was getting too big for his boots, and people were starting to use him as a vehicle for their own agendas, and he had to go. All right. I'm not. My mind is not closed to that, but I haven't got any evidence to say yes, he was definitely killed. If you have, please put it under the video. Let us know. We really do want to learn from those who know more than we do. And so, just to let you know, I mean, this guy's popularity is, one of his paintings sold for $110 million not too long ago to a Japanese businessman called Yasaku. I mean, I'm going to read this because I can't pronounce it. Yasaku Miyazawa. I apologise for my pronunciation, but I don't know too many Japanese people. But yeah, this guy bought a Basquiat recently for 110 million. So yeah, big up the Basquiat, definitely. Um,